Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 and today we're in the Minecraft Creative Builds world and we've come back to our rainbow mansion house. In the last episode we built the basic structure, so we've got our rainbow rectangular structure for our house, and then we've added our nether brick and polished granite edged roof and a little porch on the front using the kelp blocks, and we've put the door right in the centre of the build. Now actually, if I pick up the end rod again, we're going to want to put the door in the back side of the house in the same spot as we did in the front. So if you come round to the back of the house, into the green, come one block from the floor. In fact, let's knock all of those out and put the kelp block in the door gap, and then we will also want to extend that just to the edges so that we can fit in our little door. If we come inside, we want to put the doors in from the interior. Make sure the hinges are on the outside edge and the handles on the interior bit, and if we can just jump back outside again, then on the edges, so the end rod we want to make into a, like, oh no, that's not going to work. We need to put the polished granite at either side of the door and use the polished granite stairs in the upright position on the centre right above the door blocks. Then we can go back to the end rod and fit that underneath, and then it forms these beautiful connected little pillars to add a little bit of interior fun to the house. Now if we come back round to the front of the house, it's time to start thinking about where are our windows going to go and how are we going to finish off our porch, because it's going to need a roof to protect it from the rain. So if you come to the junction of the colours, and if we one side with the first row just on the red and the first row on the yellow, leave one block at the bottom and then knock out 1, 2, 3 in each of these, and then fill that gap in with your chosen window colour. I am using the grey stained glass pane. In fact, let me just go through the building blocks that I'm going to be using in this episode. I've got dried kelp block, birch fence, polished granite stairs, polished granite slab, red nether brick slab, grey stained glass pane, birch door, which we've already used, and the end rod, which we've already used. So that's the first window, and then I want to use the granite slabs, and I want to put 4 along the bottom, so 2 right under the window and 1 at either side, and do that again at the top of the window just so, and use the birch fence up the 2 sides so that you've got that beautiful window like that. And then I want to do the same on the opposite side where we have the junction between the blue and the purple, so leave 1 block at the bottom and then knock out 3 tall, so it's 2 wide, 3 tall. Fill the window in with your glass pane. Use the polished granite slab across the bottom and across the top, extending it by 2 at either side, and then use the birch fence to connect the 2 edges like so. So if I come back, you can see the design that we have right there. Hope you like that. We want to then go and do the exact same thing around the back of the house. So remember this time that the porch isn't already in, so instead of counting 1 up from the bottom, this time you need to leave 2 blocks before you knock out your 3 so that it's at the same height as the one in the front. Use the polished granite slabs at the top and the bottom and join them together with the birch fence. Go to the fill the glass pane in. I nearly forgot to put the glass in the window, silly kitty. Put the glass in. Go to the opposite side, the junction between the blue and the purple, count up by 2, then knock out your 3, fill it with your chosen colour of glass, use the slab at the top and bottom of the window and join them together with the wood. Come back to the front. We're going to want to put windows in at the top as well. So from the last episode, if you count, we want the rooms to be 5 blocks high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. So that position is going to be where the floor is between the 2 layers. So then we've got 1, 2, 3. Oops, if I can go a little bit higher to count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks is the height of that building. So we want the window, you want to count 1 above the floor, and then on the row above that, that's where we want to knock out our 3, which will then leave you 1 full block at the top of the house. There we go. So now we know exactly where we need to place it. You need 1 full block at the top above the windows in order for them to be in the correct place. Fill it with the glass pane. Use the granite slab underneath the window, and above the window use the birch fence at the side. Go to the opposite end of the build where the red and yellow are, so leave 1 full block at the top, count 1, 2, 3, knock those out, fill with the glass, use the granite slab at the top and at the bottom, top to bottom with the birch fence, and then we want 1 more window right above where the door structure is. So again, count down by 1, only this is right in the centre of the green pattern. So you'll have 1 strip of green at either side of the window, and again it will be 2 wide and 3 tall. And again, keep everything the same, use the granite slab across the bottom and across the top. Now on the back this is going to be a little bit different, because I said that we will put a big long balcony on the upper floor at the back. So where we have this centre window on the front, at the back we're going to be putting in another door so that you can access the balcony on the back. So that is the front of the house now, pretty much complete except for the roof on the balcony. But let's not forget the windows, so let's go round the back and make sure we put the windows in on this side as well. So first, at the junction between the red and the yellow, leave 1 gap at the top and then knock out the 3, fill with the glass pane, use the slab. Is this getting repetitive? But I like things to be simple to follow, so I like things to be quite symmetrical and quite easy to follow. It also makes it a lot easier to not make mistakes when you're building it. So there we've got the 2 windows above. Remember the middle one, we're now going to want that to be a door. So let's put the window in at the junction between the blue and the purple. So leave 1 gap at the top, and the window is 2 by 3. And this is the last time we're going to be doing this. Put the slab at the bottom and the top of the window, extend past the window by 1 on either side, and join at the side of the window with the birchwood fence. So on the top here we now need to be sure that we're at the right place for the floor level. So we need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is where the floor level should be, so we need a 2 by 2 structure, and we are in the right level because here I've added a lot of blocks, lantern blocks in the interior to mark where the floors should be. So I am at the right height here because this is where I've got the marker for where the floor should be. And we're going to want the door to be put in here, so we need to come to the inside of the build so that we can get the doors in properly, and then we can come back out here. So that's where the door will need to be. So for the balcony area up here, we're going to want the, oops, there. So if we come just to the side of the door like this, so we can add the structure like we normally do. So we want the slab blocks at either side of the door, and then the stair, polished granite stair on the 2 blocks right above the door, like so. And then we use the end rod to make these pretty little pillars at the side, like so. So that now marks where we're going to want the balconies on the back of the building. So what we want to do now is go back to the dried kelp block, and we want to extend this all the way along the building, just leaving 1 block right at the end, like so. And let's do that on the opposite side as well. Extend this balcony all the way across, leaving 1 block at the end. And we're going to want this to be 3 blocks wide, so let's go all the way across here. You can actually, of course, also remove these blocks. These are going to remove the doors, aren't they? Right, yes. So I've just messed up now and got doors on the floor. Here we go. So I'm going to extend the kelp block underneath where the door should be. So I now need to put the door back on, like so, and then I'll come back out. There we go. I just think that looks nicer to have the same block consistently throughout the space that we're building here. So let's get back into the correct position now. So like I said, I want this to be 3 wide, so 1, 2, 3, and then we just extend it all the way out to the end, leave 1 gap so that we can put the edging around. So 3 wide all the way across, and then we're going to want to do that on the ground floor level as well. So 1 from the edge of the building, and 1, 2, 3 out from the building, and then just extend that all the way across the building. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can count all the way across if you like, if that makes you feel more comfortable about making sure you're doing it right. So 1, 2, 3. Extend past the door, and then all the way across to the other end of the build, and remember to leave 1 block gap at the end so that we can put the edging around, just like we did on the front porch in the last episode. And then the basic structure of the house should be completed in this episode, I think. And then you can either come back for my interior build, or you can design your own interiors and just forget about my build. Right, so now swap to the polished granite stair block and twist it upside down in this L shape, upside down at the side. And again, like we did on the front, if you want access all the way around the building, you can put stair at the side and then build a path round to the front, or you can of course just go straight across and just put fence all the way along the build. I'm going to put a stair in the centre, and I'm going to take paths all the way around the house later, and I will have to add a little bit more flooring here later as well, just to support everything. And then curl it round the side, and oops, make sure they're in the right orientation as you go across. The grass sometimes just makes things a little bit odd. Right where I've got the door, I'm going to put stairs so that you can step down into the back garden at your house, or as we are, onto the seashore. We've actually got a beach front view from the back of the house, which is why I wanted the balcony to be on the back of my house. You can of course put the balcony on the front of your house if you would prefer. Entirely up to you. Hello sheep. No, you can't live in my house. I haven't finished it yet. See, the sheep always want to know what I'm doing. They don't like to miss things out. And again, I've decided to put a stair in to run paths all the way around the house. You don't have to. You can have that upright like that and just run the fence all the way around. Entirely up to you. I'm not going to worry about this terrain terraforming. I'll do that later off camera. Then use the birch fence to run a fence all the way around the porch. Do not run the fence above the stairs. Stop at the side of the stairs and just run all the way around to the side like so. And then on the balcony area, of course you're not going to want steps to step down from the balcony. We're going to let them come down from the inside, so everything is going to be an upside down step around the edge. We are going to change a few of these blocks in a little bit. You'll see why in just a minute. So go all the way around the edge like so. Oops, right way up, thank you. All the way around like so. Now, this is not supported in any way, shape or form, so we need to support it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the birch fencing up at certain blocks. First, I'm going to extend it all the way up at the side of the house, right on the edge of the house. And then, of course, I'm going to extend it up at the corner. Now, where we've extended it up, this is going to need to look like it's supported. So where you've got your fence, I want to swap that to a full block of polished granite so that it gives it that appearance of support. So we're going to do that in the corner here. Where the fence comes down here at the side of the door, I am also going to knock out a block there, a gap of 2 and a block there, so that those are going to have support. Right on the corner and right back by the house. You can choose to add more supports if you want, and if you do, just make sure that you put the full blocks where the support poles are, so that it just looks much more supported, you see, as you go around. And you can choose to put more or less in depending on how much of a support you feel it looks like it needs. So you see, that's quite a long gap. You could choose to put another one in somewhere along here. It's entirely up to you where you would choose to put your supports. I think one right where the edge of the purple is, I think might look quite good personally. So I think I'll take that block out there. And to be symmetrical, it'll have to be where the yellow is, won't it? Right on the edge of where the yellow block is, right there, the last yellow block. That will make it symmetrical. And make sure that you run the supports to all of these filled in blocks, and that looks quite good, I think, personally. Right, so that's supported that structure. So we do still need a roof on this, so we first want to run the fence all the way around the top porch, and then we're going to want a roof on this top porch. So let's run the birch fence all the way around the edge, and then I think we go up 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we go all the way up to the roof structure, I think, on this one. All the way to the edge of that corner, just like that. That looks quite good. And then we go up 1, 2, 3. Because we're going, I think, go up by 3 at the moment, and then we'll adjust later. 1, 2, 2, 3, and remove where it doesn't match, and then extend from where we had before. 1, 2, 3, and then we have one here. 1, 2, 3, and one here. 1, 2, 3, and then on the edge of the purple. 1, 2, 3. Now what we want is the roof to come down to these, so we have to think about how we're actually going to extend that. I think the best way to do that is to start with the granite slab. Let's see how far up we're going to be. If I build straight on top of those, leave set, thank you. So let's think about how we're going to do this. So if I build 2, 2, 2, how does that look? So if I have 1, 2, 3, Actually, that might work, because if we have 1, 2, 3, that's at the same level, isn't it? So that might work actually. 1, 2, 3, like so. So if we extend this all the way along these front support pillars with the polished granite slab all the way along to the edge of that, and then we're going to, oops, wrong place, we're going to want that to come out one, and then if we say down and in and down, so that we actually have two tall at the edges so that it looks a little bit more solid. So if I place a second block underneath both of those two, the front one's only one tall, but the other two are double blocks, if you see what I mean. And then I want to use the red nether brick slab to run across level with those two blocks, like so. And then we're making an extension to the roof as a ceiling for this walkway, and we're utilising the same colours as we used for the roof, but we're also making it appear to be separate to the roof, so that you get that little bit of contrast rather than running it into the roof and just making it a great big mass, so it doesn't really stand out quite so well. So let's just run that all the way along this porch structure, and then not forget that we haven't put a roof on the porch on the front of the house. So that now is my porch structure on the back of the house. So we've got a porch out the base of the house, and then we've got a big balcony at the front of the house. I just said front instead of top, didn't I? See, I get words wrong all the time, but basically we've got a double balcony, top and bottom of the house, so that you can come out from the bedroom area and just sit on the veranda at the top of the house, or you can just sit at the bottom of the house, or you can walk out into your little bit of garden onto your beach. So on the back we're done. On the front we still need to put in a roof for our porch area. Now we are going to want to make sure that this roof section doesn't hit these roofs, and we're also going to want them to be supported properly by our birch fence, aren't we? So let's run that up at least as tall as the, so let's see, it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 wide. So if we start, on top of that and then come down forward and then down and then down, if I run the birch up, let's say 1, 2, 3, that will actually work, won't it? So we want, right, level with the yellow, that's what we did, so add 1, 2, 3, and then at the side of the stairs 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, level with the edges of purple, 1, 2, 3, on the corner, 1, 2, 3, and then at the back 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab the polished granite slab and go level, come forward and down and forward and down and forward, and add an extra one at the back and add an extra one at the back there. Then this front row here you want to extend all the way across the house, and that should then sit on top of all these support beams. So you've extended the front birch poles by 3 and the ones right at the wall by 4. Then swap to the red nether brick slabs and fill in the top blocks of these 3 sections till it meets the wall and the front structure that we have just built. And this is the porch roof for the front of the build, and this I think might be the last thing that we need to do on the outside of the house. And then in the next episode we'll take a look at the interior and decide how we might want to think about dividing it up and where we're going to be putting it in the stairs. So this is my build of a rainbow mansion house. So I hope that this has given you some ideas, and I hope you like some of the things that I've done, and it would be great to hear if you think about building this for yourself or some variation of this for yourself. So let me give you a little look at what we've built. So this is the front of the rainbow mansion that I have built here. This leads on to the road for the front of this house, and we just have the porch on this side of the house. And then around the back, because we've got this beautiful ocean front area here, you've got a porch or veranda on the lower level of the house, and you've also got a beautiful balcony for sitting on or lounging around on and coming outside on. And we could add some porch furniture and things to that and think about doing something with our garden area, and I think we will do that maybe in the next episode, or we'll do the interior. Let me know which you would prefer to see first, and I will see you in the next episode. From Soft Kitty 99, goodbye and happy gaming!